Hi, welcome back to Rooted Connection. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Alexandra.
Today we're going to be talking about a special Hispanic Latino celebration that happens every season during this time of year. And specifically, they're called Rosarios and Posadas. And we all get together with our families, friends, and neighbors and other peers, and we just pray. And what else do we do, Alexandra?
I think we just indulge in the, I guess, Christmas atmosphere. You could say Christmas is the day that, Jesus was born. It's his day. And for that reason, too, excuse me, for that reason, too, my family takes it very serious. They're very religious. As are yours. I mean, I think it just all blends in and with religion and holidays. When the culture of today is like giving presents, growing up I never got presents for Christmas. Like my parents have always like spoiled us all year round. Like if one day I say, Dad, like I want to go to New York, he'll plan a trip to go to New York. If I want a pair of shoes, like, well, I'll get you those pairs of shoes. Just send me the size and whatever shoe you want and I'll see when I can get it for you. Like my dad has never been a no person, but he's also been very like, he wants to make sure we know the value of things. So he'll be like, you know what, those shoes were this much, so I hope you take care of them. And I had to work for those shoes, so I hope you appreciate them. So for Christmas, I remember one year like him being like, you know what, like we give you presents all year round. Like Christmas isn't even about you; it's about Jesus. So you're not getting presents anymore, literally. And it wasn't like an always thing. We got presents before, but then I remember since I didn't have anything to look forward to when it came to presents, I kind of focused on like the traditions that my family did every year because that's not really what I didn't know any better. I didn't appreciate them as much when I was young. Like you just kind of went for the food and for the champurrado and for the like pan dulce. But I think it allowed me to like indulge more in like the posadas. For those who don't know what posadas are, they're just like mini celebrations before Christmas, approaching Christmas. Some people do like the 12 days of like walking to people's houses and singing Christmas carols outside of their house. My mom did that. My family did all of those things. Um, I don't know if your family like was ever the type to like participate in those things, but my family always hosted those things. Like it was always like my mom's idea, and then my grandma did the centerpieces, and then my aunt did the this, and then this person did the food. Um so that's always been in my culture. That's always been in my household.
Oh my gosh, like I am totally the same. Like my family from my mom's like ranch in Mexico, they all live here in like Orange County, so they always have these big parties every year, and people like their neighbors like will come outside and they're like, what's going on, like what is this? And we like have to explain to them that, oh, we're just like praying. It's just like this thing we do annually, and we all just get together, and sometimes we'll just even ask like neighbors if they would like to participate and like let us pray. And it's so much fun. I used to be um like the little kid just holding a statue of Joseph in the very front, and I would have my cousin on the other side of me holding the Virgin Mary. And so it was very interesting getting to do that. And I remember when they would hand out candles, and like you were just like walking on the street with like your little candle in your hand, and sometimes like I would see my cousins like would just have their hand filled with wax, and it was it was strange, but it was pretty dope. But my godmother, who is my mom's sister, she hosts the biggest posada every year, and people from our church come, and so it's a really grand celebration, especially with like her immediate family. They like put this fiesta together. And my favorite part of the posadas are like when they get to hit the piñatas, and they are also handing out candy for like the kids. And I think what I miss the most is the food, because I would just have like 5 pieces of sweet bread and conchas, and I think that's how I got fat. as a kid, but I was like, I don't care.
I think that's how every Mexican went through that phase of like fearing gaining weight, because I mean there's food everywhere in these occasions. Even like the neighbors coming over. I mean I've experienced all of that as well. And I think it's just so funny because most Mexicans are just so, I wouldn't say most, but in my family and my experiences, they're very prideful of their culture. So they want to like invite everyone in to like experience it as well. And in my case, my parents they host this Bible study every week in my garage. I mean, ever since coronavirus, um, came into our lives, it doesn't really happen anymore. But it was an every week thing, and it would happen in the garage. My garage is completely fixed up. It has tile, it has AC, it has cabinets for all of my mom's little Bibles and like her little packets that she hands out. So it was all catered to that. Like my parents are very serious about their, like Bible studies and their religion and their prayers. And I'm all for it. I think it's so beautiful to like see people come over every week and like these people become like part of my family because they're here all the time. But that's kind of where my mom got the idea of doing her like 12-day posada, where we would pick 12 people, like 12 houses to walk to. So every day it was a different house. Every day it was different food. It was a different song. We all had our little candles and we would walk to every house. Um, but the cool thing was that since my mom works at apartments, a lot of the people from the Bible study live in those apartments. So we had it all in the apartments. Every day it was like a different apartment. The last day was at my house and we had piñatas, and it's all very familiar. I just think season for like me and my cousins, for all of us. Thinking about it now, I think I don't feel like it's December. Doesn't even feel like, the season is here because of so much distance, like we don't really get to do a lot of things. Um, the posadas are obviously out of the window, but my family this year, I think because of so much distance and we don't see each other as much, the girls in my family, my aunts, my cousins' wives, we did this group chat where we're doing a weekly secret Santa. So yesterday was when we turned in our presents, and then Mondays is when we pull out a name. So every week we have a different person to give a present to, and it's a small little present. It's like $20, but it's so fun and it's so cute because every week I'm like, at least I'm gonna get something. At least that's what keeps me, like feeling the Christmas vibes. Like right now I mean, I have my little Christmas blanket that they gave me. Like I get little presents that I didn't even know I needed. So I think that's what made me realize this season though that that's what holidays are. It's what people make them. Like if you don't put a Christmas tree up, it's not going to feel like the holidays. If you don't do like, do the extra mile and like, creating these little secret Santas, it's not going to feel like Christmas. If you don't decorate, if you don't, play Christmas music. My mom will play Christmas music, and at first I thought it was so weird, but like I'll hear it in the living room while I'm doing homework and it feels like Christmas. Like it feels like it gives it the festivities. I saw a quote the other day and I wish I would have pulled it up sooner, but it said something like holidays are actions. Like a holiday is an action. You do something for a holiday, like you don't just sit at home and like, oh, it's Easter, but we're just watching TV like any other day. You do things that bring in the holiday like atmosphere. And I'm just so appreciative now of the way that my family does holidays because they do try to make it feel in some ways. And I think when we grow up, we find these things to be like annoying. At least for me at some point, it was like I was so distracted by so many other things. And this quarantine, I feel like we always reflect back to the quarantine, but it really did teach me like what it is that you need to do. Like you need to really put yourself out there. You need to buy people presents, you need to spend money in order to feel the festivities, or get together, do Christmas like ugly sweater parties or whatever the case is. I used to always do those in past years, and now it's like we have to try to do something. We do little Zoom calls. The other day we did do gingerbread houses through a Zoom call, and it was pretty cool. if you haven't tried that, and if you don't hang out, if anyone doesn't get to see their family this year, I would like suggest doing something like that. It was actually so much fun, and we all had our own little wine. Recommend.
I'm so jealous. Like,
Did you ever do Secret Santas like with your friends or your coworkers?
I do with my relatives. Unfortunately, again, we're not meeting this year.
Mm-hmm.
But usually in the past, like we would all do like a little secret Santa, and yeah, like the max would be like $25. But sometimes I would kind of go all out for the person, just so that way um, they feel special a
Yeah.
day. And it's funny because I'm tall, so people forget that my feet are like a 12, and usually I'll get shoes that are like 13, and I feel bad. I'm like, "Oh, mom, like what do I tell the person? Like, I mean, this isn't gonna fit me. I'm not
Yeah.
able to use them." Like, so she's like, "Just keep them." And I'm
And you know what? That's my biggest fear when buying someone a present is that I'm gonna, I'm not really a materialistic person. I'm not really a stingy person. I spend more than I should on other people a lot. I'm always like, I got you. I'll pay for you. It's fine. So I'm not really the type that minds buying people expensive stuff. But the thing that always stings me, and I was just talking about this yesterday because I went Christmas shopping yesterday. I was like, the only fear is that I'm gonna buy them this and they're never gonna wear it and they're never gonna use it. So I'm very thoughtful with my gifts. Like I'm like, I need to make sure it's what this person likes. Like they're gonna appreciate it. They're gonna feel special that I thought of them and I thought of getting them this. So it's honestly so stressful for me. Like I always want to make sure that I have the right size, that it's gonna fit them. Like, do you need the receipt? Because it does make you feel special. I think for a long time I went without getting gifts for Christmas and I never really asked for gifts. So when people are like, "What do you want?" I never know what to ask for. I don't know if that happens to you, but I always go like blank. I forget everything that I could have ever asked for and needed.
I usually just tell my family that I don't want anything because I feel like I already have everything. Like I have
Right.
clothes, I have my car that I like got on my own, and um like my phone. I mean, I think what I would probably need the most is like maybe like
You
food,
see?
just healthy food.
You know what? I have a cousin that works at Costco, and that's the only place he shops at. So for our birthdays, and mostly for our birthdays, because he did it for Christmas too one year. For Christmas one year, he bought us a broom. Like so sarcastic, so annoying, but you know what? I used it. That's the worst part. Like I was like mad at first, like, really, dude, you got me a broom and a mop and like extra mirror wipes and like a what's it called? Like that mirror spray, a
A
Windex.
Windex, a Windex.
And I have mirrors in my room. And he thought of that. He's like, "You have a lot of mirrors in your room, so I'm going to buy you some of that." And I remember being like, "You really bought me this for Christmas," but I used it. For my birthday, he got me makeup white removers and he got me socks from Costco. I love socks from Costco and sweats. And like he doesn't even wrap it. He just throws it on your bed or he'll just give it to you like, "Here, I got you this from Costco." And he always says, "You know what? You're going to need them. It sounds funny that I'm getting you socks, but you're going to need the socks." So whenever he sees us wearing the socks, he gets so happy. And he made me realize that like it's more about like what people need more than what they want. Because if you think about it, and I saw this the other day too, it said, I don't know if you ever like read things or see things on Instagram that like make sense to you, but it said it's kind of disrespectful to give a homeless person a car when they don't have anywhere to put it. So if a homeless person is in need of something, give them something that they need. They need food and they need water and they need clothes. They don't need a car because where are they going to go? What are they going to buy? Where's the gas going to come from? Where's the insurance going to come from? So it's like that's why I try to be thoughtful, because it is kind of disrespectful getting my grandma some shoes that I like that she's not going to wear because they're not comfortable for her. So I don't know. Holidays really is about even like knowing people. If you're going to gift them something, at least for me, I want to make sure that I know what it is that they like, what it is that they need. Um, yeah, I have managed to do a couple of Secret Santas, in my life, but the only one that has managed to like stay consistent, it's been 7 years, is I do this annual gift exchange with my closest friends, and it's 7 years already. And I cannot get over it. I think that is so crazy. Like 7 years consistently, we've been doing this thing. And this is the first year that we have not messed up and like given out the names because we usually give in and we're like, you know what, dude, I got you. And I want to know what shirt you want. Like we would always mess it up. So yeah, I think the holidays always reminds me, of the people that I have around, of the cool things that I could look forward to in life.
Same here. I was trying to find a quote, but I couldn't find it too. So I just like really feel that the posadas have really kind of shaped us into like the people we are today. And I think that's where I get a lot of my family quality time, like from like just being like a family person. And I just have really benefited from like always coming home to open arms and just like my family, and just being able to like just chill and just like have a great time hanging out. But like being alone in San Francisco, like it was like weird just being alone all the time. Yeah, I had my roommates, but I mean, it's like they don't want to listen to like personal like life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like there was a couple instances where I would be like, oh, this and this is going on, and I can tell like they were not interested, and then be like, uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
and like they'd be like on TikTok listening quotations. But I was like, oh, I think I need to like just keep everything to myself. But I don't know, I just feel that I just really loved going to posadas, and I feel that I may have taken it for granted when I was younger because I didn't really like surrounding myself with people. And I mean, I had like guy cousins that didn't want to hang out with me because obviously I was gay, still am. And like I just was always alone growing up because no one wanted to hang out with me. But only until I got older, that's when like they started to understand like, oh, there's like nothing wrong with this. But it still feels like a burden when I like go to a family party like a posada or rosario, and it's like they know that I'm gay, and it's like I can't be myself because then they feel like it's gonna be like a shame for their kids to see me, I guess. Like I don't know if I'm making sense, but
Yes.
it's just like really discouraging to like show up to a family party, and I don't like saying hi to everyone because I just feel like, well, I'm sure you and you don't like me because I'm gay, so it's like why should I say hi? But again, it's like, the Mexican custom culture to like greet
It's
everyone.
a common courtesy to greet everyone that
Yeah.
is already there before you. I absolutely don't like doing it either, but I realize that it's also just a fear you have, like, of discomfort. It's kind of awkward saying hi to people, and like it's just discomfort of like you're always, for one, it's like this anxiety is like fear of what's coming, of not knowing what's coming, of controlling what's coming. And I always get this anxiety of like saying hi wrong, and like saying hi and them not wanting to say hi back, that awkward like little moment of like, oops, like, sorry for trying, so I always avoid it. But my dad always forces me, and I realize after that when I say hi, you get past the awkwardness. Once you say hi, you're like, there, I said hi, they said hi, what's the worst that could happen? It's always this like fear of what people are thinking about you. At least for me, because I get that. Like I cannot stand having to get somewhere and everyone looks at you walk in and you have to say hi and everyone's waiting. So completely understand that. And like in the cases of like feeling misunderstood and feeling judged, I actually did a video yesterday on this topic, right last night. So I woke up even thinking about it and just reflecting on it. But it was basically, going through feeling like no one understands you and that the people that you're around don't understand you. You can't go to them. You feel alone. And I reflected so much on like just being around the wrong people. Like I spend so much of my energy being like, you're, I guess I spend so much of my energy angry or frustrated that people weren't giving me the energy I gave them. They're not reciprocating. I'm there for them, so why aren't they there for me? But sometimes you just give your energy to the wrong people. And like instead of trying to change people, I realized like why don't I just change the people into someone else? Like why don't I just try with someone else, And in your case of your roommates, like you would have probably been better off with other roommates, Like there's people out there that truly do want to listen to you and do want to hear you out. It's just that you're not for everyone and not everyone's not for you, So that to me is like my way of trying to get past people not treating me the way that I want to be treated. Um it's just really choosing someone else. Like there's 7 billion people in this world. There's so many people that could make us feel at home. And one thing is that no one is going to make you feel like your family. Like despite everything, um I feel like for me, even if I'm in an argument with whoever, whatever, and I'm, mentally going through it, if I could just sit in a room and know that my sister's sitting on the couch next to me and I have my mom, cooking right there, and we're not even talking, but just to be in the presence of my family, it feels so good. And then to be in the presence of your family in a time like this where it's like holidays and everyone's excited and everyone's in like a jolly mood, you could say, like it feels even better. Like me doing homework and having to do finals doesn't feel that bad. It's like I still know that once this is over, I have something to look forward to.
Oh, you're definitely right. But isn't it crazy, like, to jump back on like the topic of the podcast, like how the Virgen de Guadalupe. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
The dances, like, listen to this. Like it's so beautiful just seeing everyone like dressed up and these big feathers and the costumes and like the little maracas, and like you can hear every time they take like a footstep, like you can hear the beautiful sounds from their costume just like matching with the beat of the drum, and it's all flowing in sync, and you're just like, damn, like they really practiced like the dance, la danza, and they really put in like such a hard like work and effort to just really perform and kind of bring the community together with like their dance and just like everyone coming together to pray for the Virgen de Guadalupe.
It's so crazy to me just the entire day given to her because I remember growing up here. I mean, this is done all over the world. This is done in so many different places, but me being from a entirely Hispanic area, it's celebrated um not only a lot and in many ways and annually, but it's very close to home. Like literally you will see it's this caminata that they do. So um everyone, anyone and everyone is welcome to do it, but it's this long walk that they do that is about like 50 miles um or more. I am not sure, but it is so far. Like I have not been able to finish it, but growing up it always came out on the news. It's obviously just on December 12th every year is the day of the Virgin Mary. It's obviously a Catholic religion, and she is a figure that a lot of people praise. That's the difference between Christianity and being Catholic, is that Christians don't believe in her. So this is something that people take a lot of pride in. Obviously, my family, I believe in her. It's just a day to praise her. So like even people dancing entirely for her belief, to be thankful for her, it always blows my mind. Like to think that people spend an entire day from the morning to the night walking. You get to the church and millions of people from church have made food. They have waters. There's people with their cars and signs and paintings, and it's crazy in the most beautiful way. And I remember always seeing the people walking, and you would see people walking from Palm Springs to thermal Coachella, and they'd walk through the streets, they'd walk through the main streets of, the desert, and the most busy streets. The entire traffic would be stopped, and it was just, to me, so beautiful. It was such a pride to be like, the times that I got to do it, the times that I was privileged enough to do it, um it would be raining and people would still, I mean, it rained almost every year on that day, and people were still walking. And if you got tired, you could sit behind someone's truck for a little bit. They would let you, like, everyone, it was just such a welcoming, such a united little community. And this year it obviously didn't get to happen.
Oh man, I feel sad that I didn't get to go to my church here in Garden Grove. I think they just had like a socially distanced mass. Well, I'm not sure. I just saw that my
Or
cousin.
a live stream. Or
Oh,
a live stream, because my aunt's funeral was a day before and they were promoting it all day at the church. Like, they're going to do a live stream of the Virgin Mary, and I think that's even cool. Like, what the heck? I would have never thought of that.
I love that, and it's crazy how like I feel more connected to La Virgen de Guadalupe after like being I think in middle school or high school when the show La Rosa de Guadalupe or something like that
Mhm.
on Univision. And I was like, whoa, like this show is teaching you about like life lessons. And, it was a little cheesy, like with the actors, but I think the moral of the story is
Mhm.
like humbling and it's just very beautiful on how it just all connects with like growing up as a person.
Right. Even the fact that there is a show, that's why, to me, um and this is for everyone. Everyone should take pride in where they come from, and their culture, or whatever it is that raised them to be who they are. But I take so much pride in my culture. I mean, everyone should be prideful, but Mexicans are especially very prideful of, their culture, their religion, the way their parents raised them, the quotes that their parents raised them on. And La Virgen de Guadalupe is like it is a very cheesy show. Like, it is very overly exaggerated, like things that we don't necessarily say. It's almost like Black Mirror. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Black Mirror. It is very intense, and it is very like, whoa, like, too explicit, like too much information. I didn't need to know all that. Or
Crazy.
just overly exaggerating, like it leaves you shook. You're like, what the heck? Like, really? Like, what made you think of that? And that's how I feel when I see that show as well. But it almost does reflect to reality. And it does kind of teach you something that's bound to happen to anyone, it could happen. Um, and just the fact that there's an actual show that just honors this figure is insane, because you don't see that on any given, channel on TV. You're not going to get, someone talking about God. And for me, like, just being able to go onto a Spanish channel, which I'm sure every Hispanic grew up on. Like, let's be real. If you didn't grow up on it, like, please let us know. But I'm sure everyone has grown up watching Caso Cerrado, or, La Virgen de Guadalupe. And that, to me, is like, it's so universal, because my parents have traveled to Puerto Rico, and I had the privilege of traveling one time with them. And they even watch it over there. And it's like, what? I thought this was like a Mexican thing from Mexico only. And it's like, it's very universal. So I take a lot of pride in that. Even just the movie Coco. Um, that movie is, I mean, it was put out before I even got to watch it. I thought in my head, like, that's gonna be so, Americanized, so whitewashed, like Disney's putting it out. Like, do we have any real Hispanics that are, creating this? Like, that was always my thought. And when I watched it, especially watching it, I guess after the fact that I lost a lot of people in my life, it was so comforting, and it was so beautiful. And I know that we talked about this before, but even the altar that my family made, and like, just different like parts about the movie that, like, we do now as, like, like our altares, the way we build them, the things that we believe because of the movie. It gives a lot of comfort, and it does reflect a lot to our culture. So Hell yeah, I take a lot of pride in the things that we do, the things that we practice. Um, Posadas. I think growing up, I'm sure for everyone it's different. I look forward to like growing up and like celebrating the holidays with my kids and with my, with my niece and with my sisters. Eventually we're gonna have to take on and like host stuff. So I don't know if you're really like a host type of person. I am. That's one thing that I picked up from my family is like how to throw parties, like how to entertain people when they come over. And the posadas in my life have gotten a bit more crazy. Like my cousins will start to have some with like live music and like drinks and raffles for like TVs, and like they do these crazy posadas that are also fun, but it's cool to know that you could celebrate this however you want when you grow up, as long as, I mean, for me, I would love to keep my family's traditions, but it could be celebrated in so many ways. You could have parties, you could have like cocktail parties. I'm so excited. Like wine nights. This year for our Secret Santa, we used to do like matching PJs for 1 year, or like a bonfire. We'd go to a restaurant 1 year, to like a hotel room here locally. Like we would do different things. And this year we're doing it through Zoom. So a part of our gift is that we need a gift wine, like our favorite wine, and then we're gonna drink it together on Zoom. So that's so much fun. I'm so excited.
For more of A Rooted Connection, follow us at arootedconnection.wixsite.com/KSFS or on Instagram at arootedconnection_KSFS. Thanks for tuning in.